Hello everybody and welcome to the second daily rant by Tinytree, youtube.com/Tinytree I almost say TinytreeGaming.com just by habit. I might just get that domain and redirect it to YouTube. So anyway, hey everybody, I'm going to talk a little bit more about just things today. I guess that's what I'm going to do with the show. It's kind of a variety show, I almost want to say at this point. Like, I mean, it's just something that I'll just talk for a while. With game footage in the background. Not sure what I'm going to put in the background today. I'm thinking maybe some more Smite if I have some time. We'll see. I'm kind of undecided. I might even put some Dark Souls. Dark Souls is downloading after I bought it earlier today. So it's going to download and do its thing. And so maybe if it's down in time, I might put some down there. I'm not 100% sure. I might do some Let's Plays of Dark Souls. So we'll see. No guarantees. I have officially given up on Sleeping Dogs, as I mentioned yesterday. Just, let's not talk about it. Not gonna happen. I will be away tomorrow, well, for the next few days, actually. I'll be away. I'll be going away tomorrow morning, which will be tomorrow night for the people in America. And then I'll be getting back the following night. So I'll be away for about 36 hours, starting from, I don't know, about 12 hours from when basically, I'm gonna be away for two straight days from when my videos upload. However, I will hopefully have some things ready for you people. I will probably record another daily rant today, or something along those lines, or even just 2 Let's Plays, and I'll release them tomorrow on Saturday. And Sunday, I don't have anything prepared for quite yet, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, hoping, I'm going to get back on Sunday night. Since I'm not working that night, I will have time to get out a video or get out 2 videos or something along those lines. I hate taking days off with this because I'm a firm believer, you know, if you like doing something, you know, I should try and do it every day sort of thing, and I should always have content there for people. So, we'll see what happens. In any case, so as I alluded to earlier, Dark Souls has been released. That is the second game in the series after Demon Souls. I don't think they're really linear. I didn't play Demon Souls and I haven't played any Dark Souls yet, but from what I heard, they're not really, they're set in the same universe and that sort of thing, but they're not like a continuous game. They're not really a story-based game either, from what I know. Basically, it's an RPG that is really difficult, and it's... I'm trying to think of how to describe it. When it's a game, it's not about the story or about the actual gameplay. Ooh. I feel bad saying that, because what's unique about it is the gameplay. Basically, you play, it's like a third-person, mythical, medieval, whatever you want to say, dark fantasy game, and it's really hard, and a lot of the game is kind of like mind games and tricks and that sort of thing. Like it's kind of like it's a lot of puzzles, but not like conventional puzzles. It's kind of like, if I do this, I die. Like, you'll face a giant dragon, and you can't kill the giant dragon. The only way to get away from the giant dragon is like jump off the ledge or something. That's what it is, basically. Oh, wonderful! My phone went off. I don't know if anybody heard that. That was something interesting. I think I have something new for you guys. I was just invited to a beta. Stay tuned. In any case, yeah, Dark Souls, interesting. I'm downloading it right now. I bought it. I'm really interested to see what happens. From what I've heard, the game, and this is why I decided to talk about this first up. From what I've heard, the game is not an amazing PC port. Not bad, but not amazing. Nothing to write home about. From what I've heard of it, the main problem is that it's using upscale textures. For those who don't know, how resolution works, obviously, you've seen like high resolution and low resolution photos. Low resolution photos have less pixels, and it looks it just doesn't look as clear or clean. Basically, when a game is developed only for a console, or for a console in mind first up, the textures are usually only 1280 by 720 in dimensions in the actual game. This is obviously, like, I mean, they have like high resolution textures, obviously, which are like really, really big and that sort of thing, but they don't put them in the game. They, you know, they scale them down. And a big part of basically what takes up the most memory in any game, you know, that's why you see games which are like 15, that's why you see World of Warcraft is almost a 30 gig game, is because there is just so much textures in it that it's, you know, there's a lot to store. So basically, when a game is developed for a console, consoles can only go up to 1080p right now. Computers can go a little higher, but it's only certain displays and certain video cards, that sort of thing. I can't even remember what the next one up is. I don't have it. I have 1920 by 1080. Basically, console games run at 1080p on 1080p TVs, but they're upscaled. They don't run. Some games do, almost none do. A few years ago, a few games were doing it because they, graphics performance has gone forward so far now that 1080p looks really nice, but it's really hard to achieve because games look nice. There's a lot more in them. Blah blah blah. You know how it is. Games get bigger and harder to run over time. Anyway, most games on the Xbox, in particular, and some on the PS3, are capped at a certain frame rate, 30 to 60 FPS. Usually 30. Most consoles can't handle more than 30 frames. 50 if you're lucky, and they will run at they'll run the 720p resolution, but they'll upscale, like they'll stretch it out to be 1080p. And what that means is you get like kind of blurry-ish textures. And when that happens, the game doesn't look as nice. I mean, it's really hard to tell when you're playing on an Xbox 360, honestly. Like, I'm being serious here. I mean, I shit on the Xbox a lot, as you'll know. But the Xbox 360, when you're playing half a room away on a big TV, the textures doesn't matter. Like, you barely notice it. Unless you're playing with like a monitor right in front of you, it's really hard to notice. And this is one of the key fundamental differences between PCs and between consoles. Consoles are meant to be played at a distance. So when you have the really small things like anti-aliasing, if anybody doesn't know anti-aliasing, yeah, it's hard with my accent. Anti-aliasing? Yeah, anti-aliasing is easier to say for me. Basically what that is textures aren't smooth, if that makes sense. They're not smoothed out on the edges. So anti-aliasing, you can be forced through a video card or be forced through the game engine, preferably the game engine, but you can do it through your video card as well. And basically what that is the edge of textures. If you've seen like those jagged edges, like they're not quite smooth, that has to do with how they've rendered the textures, because it's it's a lot of memory to hold like an unrendered texture. You just can't do it. For example, Carmack was talking about like the first or second level in Rage. If he used the uncompressed textures, he was talking for a while in this huge 3.5 hour talk, but he said the first few levels, like the first hour or two of Rage, if he had used uncompressed textures, it would have been like a terabyte. Gives you a bit of a reference point. To contrast, that Rage was like 15 gig or something. The whole game. So anti-aliasing smooths out the edges and makes things look less, like the edges look much better. If you look at a PS2 game, you can tell the difference. PS2s didn't have any anti-aliasing, I think, from memory. It's either that or the PS1 or something, where it came in just afterwards. So that's the main difference there, as you can tell with like all the games. That's one of the main differences. And you can't tell that from a distance, whereas PC, because you're standing so close to a monitor, you can. It's blindingly obvious. It's really, really, really easy to see. So that's the main problem. Anyway, so I'm going to talk this Dark Souls thing. So the Dark Souls thing, they're going to fix it. But for now, you have to you force 1920 by 1080 resolution, I believe, in the menu. I haven't played this. I can't confirm this. I'm just what I've read on the forums. You have to force when you force 1080p in the menu, it doesn't actually have anything in 1080p. It's just scaled up like on the consoles. So when you look at it, the game looks okay. Like the game doesn't look too bad. Like the lighting and all that's just great. Apparently, the lighting in the game is beautiful, even on PC. Because believe it or not, lighting is one of those things. It just seems like, unless you've got like a few effects, it carries over quite well to PC from console. There's not too much to change from my knowledge. Sorry, I'm not a complete expert at graphics by any stretch, but I can tell when things are gone wrong. In any case, so anyway, it looks kind of nice, but the problem is the textures are really like low res. So there's going to be a patch to kind of fix it, but in the meantime, somebody has found a fix. I'll see if I can link it in the annotations, but somebody has found a fix to actually force it. So it may just be a bug. It might not actually be a problem. It might just be the way they've coded, and they've just something somewhere is fucked up. It's not like game breaking or anything. The game apparently still looks pretty good, and from the screenshots I could see, that wasn't too bad looking. It's no Darksiders 2. I mean, I shit on it a lot, but it's nowhere near as bad as Darksiders 2, because Darksiders 2 looks like a PS2 game, straight up. Alright, aside from that, let's see what else has been going on. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 is on Steam now. Only like, 3 or 4 years late, I guess, at least. If any of those who don't know, Knights of the Republic is the prequel. Oh shit, that's where I'm speaking of death. I'm not sure exactly where it is in the timeline, but it's the sequel to Star Wars Knights of the Republic 1, which was the BioWare game set in the Star Wars Old Republic universe, which then later on, the Old Republic, the MMO made by BioWare under EA, is being made now. Now, okay, so Knights of the Republic 2 wasn't actually made by BioWare. It was one of those games which was contracted out to Obsidian. Obsidian is known for Neverwinter Nights 2. Jeez, don't quote me on that one. I think they did that. They did... oh, no, absolutely. They did Fallout New Vegas instead of Bethesda, who did Fallout 3. So that's a good reference point. They make... basically what Obsidian do is when they get contracted out by companies, they'll make the sequel to a game. And, you know, that's what they do. Not a bad company, you know, they've had an up and down track record with games from my recollection, but Fallout New Vegas was definitely their best game. I mean, some people argue that Knights of the Republic 2 was better than Knights of the Republic 1, and I'm okay with that opinion, but when I played it, I played Knights of the Republic 1 a bit more, but, I don't know, that's my opinion. They're both really good games, though. I highly recommend you pick it up. It's $10 now on release. You know, you can't really go wrong. I recommend there's a few mods you should try out, and one of them is like a restoration mod, or content restoration mod, because the game was basically broken, and there's a lot of things cut from the game. So, if you are playing Knights of the Republic 2, I highly recommend checking out some mods for it to make the game just a little bit better, because the unfortunate thing, and let's be honest, the PC gaming market back then was filled with terrible playing games. Knights of the Republic 1 and 2 are both had those problems. Knights of the Republic 1 I don't think even runs properly on Windows 7 at this point. I think that's one of the things, like, it doesn't support it well, so it's really hard to get it running. So it's one of those things. If they released like a re-release of Knights of the Republic 1, like HD texture packs, all of these, like they've just kind of like retweaked things, I would play that so hard. You wouldn't believe how much money I would spend on that. Not even kidding. I would love to see, because I'm a big fan of both Knights of the Republic games. But anyway, so Knights of the Republic 2 is on Steam now, which is really helpful. And I highly recommend anybody who's looking for an RPG and they, you know, like BioWare games, check it out. Absolutely amazing. It's great to see that sort of RPG come back. You know, like, it's good to see that sort of game. We haven't seen... I don't know. I don't really think we've seen the best from BioWare in the last 2 years, honestly. I didn't like Dragon Age 2. I thought it sucked pretty much all around. I didn't like... the Old Republic wasn't bad. I think I mentioned this before. The Old Republic isn't bad. It's just... the MMO aspect held it back and didn't really have that many good endgame content, blah, 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 blah. You know, everybody's a fucking broken record with the Old Republic. Everybody knows and talks about how much of a failure the Old Republic was, but it could have been so much better, but I don't know. At the end of the day, you don't know. I'm just hoping Guild Wars 2 is good. Oh, and that reminds me, Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 releases in about 24 hours from this recording, so you could probably deduce what time it is for me. Or when I recorded this, rather. Guild Wars 2 is coming out tomorrow, but I'm going to be in Sydney. Not the main city, but I will be going to Sydney, one of the main cities in Australia, and I am going to be going to a concert. So, Slash, if anybody's wondering. So, I'm going to go to that. But my Guild Wars 2 is hopefully going to be out when I get back, so I might do Guild Wars 2 videos on Sunday night if all goes well. No guarantees, but that's what I want to do. I'm eager as hell to play Guild Wars 2. It's kind of bothering me a little bit that I'm actually going to Sydney this time around, because there's a few things I wanted to do in my hometown, including play Guild Wars 2 on that day. Oh well, you know, I don't really take very many holidays, and it's only like a 1.5 day holiday anyway, so no, I'll take what I can get, I guess. So aside from that, how are things going? What am I looking at doing? What else am I looking forward to? Borderlands 2. I'm looking forward to Borderlands 2. Holy crap, Borderlands 2. Oh, maybe if I say it one more time, Borderlands 2. That game looks amazing. I'm totally pumped for that. It's about a month away. The game releases over the last few weeks have been pretty decent. We've had a few good games released. We've had a few big games released, rather. We had Dark Souls, obviously. I just mentioned that. We had Sleeping Dogs, which I think is a great game. Darksiders 2, great game. Talked about this before. Not going to continue. And I think we have one more AAA game in August. I'm just checking to find out. What do I have coming up? Oh, we had CSGO. It's already released. What am I talking about? CSGO. I've actually been playing CSGO quite a bit. That's been like my... actually, you know what? That's what we're gonna. That's what I'm gonna put in the background. Have fun with it. CSGO is really good. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've been playing around and screwing around, and it's been really fun. So I totally recommend. Totally recommend people just buy it. I mean, there's nothing really to say about it. It's just cool. And I'm looking at a Just Cause 2 picture. I'm sorry, just a Just Cause 2 for a second. It's CSGO. There's nothing really more. Then, like, there's nothing... I'm trying to think how to describe it. Like, I mean, I've had a lot of people say, is it any good or anything? I said, it's CS. It's the newest CS game. It is competent. All this, is it 1.6? Is it source bullshit? It's more like 1.6, which is good, because I like 1.6 more. But at the same time, I just say, just buy it. Like, I mean, it's a $15 AAA game. It's got lots of content. It's lots of fun. Honestly, I was in the beta for this as well. I feel like people who have to ask that question won't enjoy the game because I don't know. It's not the sort of game that isn't worth $15 unless it's broken. Like, I mean, the only reason I would say that CS, if any kind of CS, even CS Source or 1.6 to this day, like, I mean, I'm saying if CS 1.6 was $15 to this day, so the only reason you wouldn't buy this if it was a broken game, because they're all really good and competent shooters, but whatever. Anyway, it's a really refreshing and competent old school style of shooter. There aren't enough of them, quite simply. Everything's now Call of Duty, Battlefield, sort of pseudo-realistic shooter with, like, just a whole lot of bullshit in them, honestly. I mean, I like a lot of them. Honestly, I got a bit of a guilty pleasure for, not for Call of Duty, Battlefield, rather. I like the old Call of Duty games. But, it's refreshing to have a game that doesn't have unlock progression and regenerating health and huge maps or stupid maps. Like, it's just nice to play a new game that is just old school. It feels old school when you're playing, and it doesn't feel like it's this new style of FPS, which somewhere along the line everybody started loving and then started hating because they got so sick of it. I mean, shooters have really been overdone in the last few years, and I'm hoping we're seeing a decline of it. I mean, the Call of Duty / Battlefield era, I'm hope is slowly dying, but there's not much you can really do. In any case, I think that's all I need to talk about for today. Thank you all for watching. This has been the second daily rant for Tinytree. This has been the 24th of August, or 23rd, depending on where you are. Thank you all for watching. Please leave me some feedback, comment, like, or subscribe if you like my content. If you don't, tell me. I find it kind of funny. If you would like to ask questions or anything, feel free to either comment in the video, PM me on YouTube, or email me on titreegaming@gmail.com, and I will see it. Thank you all for watching. This has been Tinytree.